And Namaskar. We are going to start the basics of the cotton spinning, outline of spinning, that is. And in this series, this is the first unit because the fibers are the constituting elements and the yarns are made out of them. So, a little bit of the staple fibers, their definition, the definition of staple yarn and filament yarn, and some of the basic differences we are going to see in this very first unit in this entire series of the cotton spinning. So, I am retired Professor S.J. Kulkarni, Associate Professor from DKT's Textile and Engineering Institute, Ichalkaranji. So, we are going to start now with the basics of the spinning unit number 1. To start with, we are required to see about the difference between the filament and staple fibers. But prior to that, since the fiber is the constituting element and whether the fiber is from say natural source or the man-made source, and from man-made side, if the staple fiber is formed, converted, how these are made actually. So some of the things like this we are going to highlight in this particular discussion. So let's start. First is definition of a staple fiber. Now the staple fiber, that is the staple fiber, that is the it is processed through different set of systems, set of machines, which is analogous to the combing of hair as I have stated here, which means that it is required to be brought into a certain state. So first, prior we go ahead, let's see what is the definition of the staple fiber. It is the unit of matter characterized by high length to width ratio, flexibility, etc. So this definition itself denotes it is the unit of matter, which means it is made of this matter itself, and which possesses a very high length as compared to its width, means this refers to the fineness, the form of the fiber. Now this is essential because if we, for example, if we take a slightly rigid material, say besides these fibers we take a very rigid material and try to develop the yarn, the staple yarn, it will be highly impossible to form a yarn from a very brittle or rigid type of a material. So this particular state outlines about this definition, outlines say gives a thrust on how that fiber should be, means what can be called as a fiber. These are the general guidelines which are placed, what material that can be used as a fiber. This is simply the outline. Now we are, based on this one, we are required to go ahead and see exactly what kind of a material is suitable to develop a staple yarn, either from natural side or from the man-made side. So we are required to see now the definition of the staple yarn. Staple yarn is an assembly structure, to be very frank. Assembly structure, by that what I mean is, just to exemplify this, it is something like this, that say we are making a chalk that is used for writing on the blackboard. Now this is an assembly structure, a simple assembly structure. Now in this what is there, small grains are there which are converted, which are made wet, which are molded, and from that a chalk is made. Or otherwise, take the another example of a brick which is used for the construction purpose to in the buildings. It is again an assembly structure made from soil particles by after having certain treatments. So our staple yarn is an assembly structure. Now what thrust is given in the definition? A parallel strand of fibers twisted together to give strength. This is the definition of this. Means we are required to understand this thing, that the whatever strand, the strand in the sense group of fibers, whatever form the fiber strand is in, now we are required to convert it into a parallel strand and then put a twist. Unless and until we put the twist in this material, the so called the configuration, we are not going to say, we are not able to use the yarn as a yarn. So that is why these particular things are mentioned over in case of this one. So these particular things state about the typicality in which the processing has been done. Now on the other hand, as far as the filaments are concerned, filaments are basically continuous elements, continuous materials. Of course, the very first filament that was obtained, that was from, that is the silk filament, naturally obtained silk. That is the first filament. But taking the basics from that, we have developed over the years, say since 1920, we have developed the man-made fibers which are used, which are prepared from the use of the chemicals. Different chemicals are used for different compositions. For example, for viscose fiber, for polyester fiber, for nylon fiber, different ingredients are used, and then they are passed through the spinneret. Not in all cases, in certain cases where made spinning etc. is done in case of the polyester and nylon filaments, they are passed through the spinneret, they are cooled, they are drawn, then they are, in certain cases they are coagulated in certain coagulation bath that is there for the viscous material. So then by putting a stretch in them, heat setting, twisting etc., various things, and deformation, for example, this deformation, exactly it is not the deformation, but in texturizing process we are going for a rearrangement of the certain things, so that makes this filament. But from these continuous filaments, which are comprising of 2 to 3000 say monofilaments in that, we are further say stretching them, giving a stretch first, then crimping them by putting some overstepping, by having some overstepping, we crimp them and then we cut them to the suitability so that they can be used on the normal cotton spinning system or some other spinning system like woolen system etc. So that is what is the filament. Now the further difference between the chemical fiber bundle, that is cut, broken etc. as compared to the natural materials which are having a predefinite length. Natural staple materials are having by say default the whatever length they possess. For example, maximum cotton length will be around 2.2 inches or something like that, whatever different varieties are found out. So similarly, some other characteristics are also there of these materials, of the natural materials and the materials which are obtained from the man-made side. So these differences are thrusted in case of this particular thing. Now in say further, the difference is, the property wise differences are definitely there as far as the things are there. Now further difference is, the filament is a chemical processing the material that is obtained in the continuous form without cutting off them, that is used as a filament yarn, and if it is cut into the staple form, then it is used for the regular spinning system. So that basic difference is there. Their natural abundance, their natural production, they are having the continuous length. So basic difference between staple fiber, staple yarn and the filament yarn is, both are having indefinite lengths, but a staple yarn is made from a very short staple material, but filament yarn by say inherent characteristic, by natural production system, they are having a continuous length. And then if they are supposed to be used for the staple production, similar to the staple yarns which are made from cotton fiber and some other different fiber, natural fibers, Similar to that, if you want to use for this thing, then they are required to be cut into the desired lengths. This is what is the difference between the staple material and the filament material. The third difference is the deformation of the filament, the structure, the deformation and performance of the yarns produced from the staple fiber material and the filament. Obviously that will be different. Obviously that will be different, because take the case of the cotton fiber and take the case of the polyester fiber, which is obtained from the man-made side, the polyester. Now when they are going to perform, their performance will be obviously different, because not only the inherent characteristics are different, but the length in which they are cut, the polyester fiber is cut and the yarns are spun, the number of fibers in the cross section, all these different considerations are there behind this one. Slowly and steadily we are going to throw light on this thing. In the succeeding units we are going to see that, just to start with, say in the initial stage, we must understand this thing, that there are certain differences which are primarily going to be there between the staple yarn and the filament yarn. The filament yarn, continuous filament yarn, or the staple yarn which is produced from man-made staple fibers, something like that. Now staple yarn characteristics, because the production lines are different, the staple fiber, natural staple fiber you can say, which is obtained from different natural materials, will have different appearances. Appearance in the sense, the surface structure will be different, hairiness will be different. Hairiness means the protruding material which is coming, protruding fiber which is coming out of the body of the yarn, normally that is termed as hairiness. So the fabrics which are made out of them, they will have a different kind of performance. They have a good hygroscopic properties. Hygroscopic properties means, because moisture absorption tendency is better in these fibers, natural fibers, therefore absorption, the moisture absorption by the fabric, that will also be different. The fibers have different kinds of strengths, but moderate strengths are there. They are low as compared to the filament material. This is obvious one, because when the filaments are produced, a certain draw ratio is given, drawing is done. Drawing means stretching is done, and that orients the molecules in these filament materials, and that's why their strength by say default that will be higher as compared to these natural materials. Fabrics are easy to have the pilling. Pilling in the sense, something is brushed, rubbed against these materials, the fabrics made from the staple yarns. Obviously small say beads will be formed. Small beads will be formed. Small bead formation, it is the indication of pilling that has occurred. The yarns in these fabrics, not very easy to draw out of them from this natural staple fiber fabric material. Now the coverage and transparency is small. The cover factor, they say, as far as the fabrics are concerned, covering power of the fabric means once somebody wears this material, how far that will be transparent or how far that will be having opacity, that is indicated by this cover factor. So transparency is opposite to the cover. So this is different, this is less in case of staple yarn made fabrics. Now in case of the smooth filament yarn characteristics, the different properties are here. The appearance of these yarns will be smooth. Basically the silk fabrics will have a sense of smoothness, shiny surface, easy to spread and move the fabric. So this comes due to the natural tendency of silk material. Of course, in case of man-made fibers, man-made fiber fabrics or man-made filaments exclusively, this characteristic will be different as it is stated in case of silk. Small hygroscopicity, the affection for the moisture is less in these materials. For example, polyester will have 0.4%, nylon will have 4 to 4.5%, etc., etc. So hygroscopicity will be different, which goes finally into the fabric. High fiber strength, the fabric durability will be better in case of this one. Obviously that is coming because of the better strength. The all other characteristics which are possessed by a fabric, now probably this thing will be studied in the fabrics in the weaving part, but just to state here, all other characteristics the fabric possesses, they are exclusively dependent on the tensile strength, and which comes from the yarn. Of course, certain part of the yarn strength is realized into the fabric, certain part of the fiber strength is realized in the yarn. 20%, 20 to 25% fiber strength is realized, translated into the yarn, and some 4 to 5% will be translated into the fabric. So fabric strength, yarn strength and fiber strength, they are drastically different. The covering power of this is small and large transparency is there in case of such materials. So this is another difference. Now deformation of the filament yarn characteristics, this is very important aspect, that is one must know before we go to the understanding of the basics of spinning. These general things are very important to understand. The appearance of these materials is fluffy, means fluffy in the sense some spreadability is there, spreading tendency is there. Both filament fabrics and staple fiber fabrics, the appearance is fluffy. Fabric luster is weak because both, if you consider exclusively the man-made fiber made fabrics and these natural staple made fabrics, the diffraction of light will be more, and that's why the luster will be more. So that is why the reason, the luster is weak here. The fabric surface without hairiness, we can't imagine that one, and slight movement of the fabric, slight movement of the yarns into the fabric. So that makes this thing. The hygroscopicity is larger than smooth filament. Of course, this is the difference between them. Earlier we have discussed this. The fiber strength is higher than that of staple yarn. Again, we have earlier stated this thing. The fabrics they are not easy to have fluff, but may play the ball, may be spinning than the filament yarn stains. In brief, the meaning of this thing is the fluffing is not easy in case of this one, but as far as the spinning is concerned, the staining in case of this is again going to be there. The coverage and transparency again here is smaller. So that is how the basic difference is there in between the filament and this one. Now coming to the main part of this one, we have seen now up till now about what is the difference between the staple fiber, basically the natural staple fiber, and the filament, man-made filament. Now let's have throw a light on what exactly is the classification of these materials now. So fiber classification. On one side, on the left hand side, you can see on your screen the natural classification is shown, and on the right hand side the man-made classification is shown over here. So in case of the natural category, we are having 2-3 different classes: vegetable, animal and mineral. Under the vegetable, the examples are given like the cotton, linen, kapok, jute and hemp. These are all vegetable materials. Now animal side, in the natural side, they are silk and wool. On one hand, silk is obtained in the cocoons, which is having the certain length, 800 meters or 1000 meters or something like that, long length in case of the silk, whether it is a natural silk or tussar silk, that is the cultivated silk. In case of the wool, here the wool fiber has a staple length which is larger than the cotton, but it is a staple material. And in the mineral side, we have the asbestos on the natural side. Now, asbestos being say non-ecological in today's situation, it is discarded. Some of the thermal insulation kind of things, it was used in the earlier days, but it is almost not used in today's situation. As far as the man-made fibers are concerned, man-made fiber category now has three different things. Regenerated cellulose in the sense we are generating cellulose in the sense we are bringing it to a certain level of dp, and dp is nothing but degree of polymerization. In other words, it is the molecular weight of that material. Whether the dp is 3000 or not, that will decide whether that material can be used as a fiber or not. As in the definition we had seen, a unit of matter characterized by high length to width ratio. This is another criterion here, that it must possess certain degree of polymerization. Now we are generating these materials from cellulose, say wood pulp or bamboo pulp, etc., or thrown fibers, cotton fibers, etc. We regenerate the cellulose and convert it into a fibrous material, but here it is in the filament form. So nitrocellulose rayon, cupra ammonium rayon, viscose rayon. There are a lot of modifications of viscose rayon in today's situation. You have high weight modulus and some polynosic, etc. These particular things are there as far as viscose is concerned. Now synthesized, in case of this one, we are having examples. Popularly we are using polyester in day-to-day life for different kinds of things. On one hand, people used to call cotton as the king of fibers. In today's situation, the people call polyester as queen of fibers. That is how the widespread utility is there of the polyester material in today's situation. So then we have nylon, then we have acrylic from the same synthesized or synthetic materials, and then acetate cellulose, we have nylon here. So another category is glass fiber, one more on the man-made side, that is the glass fiber. So some classification of the fibers we have seen in case of this one. Based on this, whatever things the characteristics are possessed by these various classes, they will govern what kind of material is suitable for what kind of spinning system, and how to convert these fiber materials into a proper spun yarn, whether it is a staple spun yarn or filament yarn, that we are going to see in the succeeding units. This was just the introduction of the classification of the fibers. Now another thing, here we are having the fibers from different sides. Just now in the previous slide what we have seen, it is a kind of a repetition here in case of this one. Now yarns are also classified into different things. When we have stated definition of a staple yarn and a filament yarn, yarns are also classed into different categories. Something like this. Say yarns, spun yarns. Again, in case of spun yarns, we have different classes. We have napping, average twist, voile twist, crepe twist, something like this. So these are all staple yarns, staple spun yarns, but formed with some different kinds of methodologies. That is spun side, and filament side we have smooth filaments, that is flat filament, usually sometimes people call it as flat filament, and textured or bulked filament. This is modified filament. Again further subclasses are there. In case of them, we'll see from the staple side. Again further going to this one, Simple yarns, single strand yarns, ply yarns, cord or cable yarns, double yarns or double yarns. So this is first class. Then novelty yarns, one more category is there. These are sort of specialty yarns, you can say. For special purposes, in today's situation, lot of fashion garments are produced, and in these fashion garments, most of the novelty yarns are preferred. So novelty yarns like slub yarns, flake yarns, flock yarns, spiral yarns, rattan yarns, buckle yarns, loop curl yarns, knob knot spot yarns, grandrillile yarns, chenille yarns, tweed yarns. And then on the textured side, we have sketch yarns, heat set thermoplastic yarns. Now heat setting is one more process which is used for certain purposes. Whatever structure the yarn has obtained after it has been formed, now we want the setting of that structure in that state itself, locking the structure, so to say, unless and until that temperature level is reached once again. So elastomeric yarns in today's situation, stretched to fit garments, this era is there in them. These are mostly used. Bicomponent yarns, which are having altogether differential characteristic in two components of the yarns. And then chemically treated yarns, chemically treated natural fibers, the yarns made like this. And then bulked yarns or bulk yarns, high bulk yarns, loop bulk, air jet yarns. So something like this, the yarns are classed into. And each of this methodology, in the prior slide also I was discussing this thing, that each one of this has typical methodology to produce. A normal spinning system can produce the yarns, staple yarns, which are suitable for certain purposes. But as you go for different kinds of yarns, their requirements from the fabric industry, from the garment industry, from the processing industry, lot of modifications or different techniques or technologies how to be used to produce them. This is what is stated. This is what we can derive from this classification just now we had seen. Now yarn is a generic term which is used for a continuous strand of textile fibers. Earlier we had seen about this thing. Now yarn plays an important role in the fabric manufacturing process, because whether it is a weaving process, a knitting process, and of course in non-woven processes the fibers are used, but in these two processes priorly whatever I have stated, yarns are important material. That is the raw material or input material that is required for their manufacturing. So they are required to be, if I want a kind of a fabric suitable for a particular end use, I must produce a certain yarn to have a suitability for that fabric, and that fabric will be getting converted into a garment, value added product, and then finally it will decide the performance, in situ performance, when it is used for wearing the say wearing or some other different kind of purposes they are used, they must be able to perform there at different stages. So yarns used for such products, used for as sieving threads or embroidery threads, strings, ropes, etc. They are produced in different sizes and textures. Sizes denotes about the count. The size of the material denotes about the count. Now yarn count is the measure, of course in some other kind of units this was seen. So yarn count is either in the direct system or indirect system, and textures in the sense this denotes about the surface and total structure of the particular yarn. How it will be getting converted into the fabric and how fabric is going to perform, something like this. So they vary in these characteristics. Now therefore whatever classes we have just now seen, in these classes certain classes focus on certain production of yarn. For example, slub yarn manufacturing. The pure thrust in the manufacturing of the slub yarns is to develop slubs into the yarn, in the yarn body or protruding slightly from the out of the yarn body. Slight protruding is there. So they vary in different characteristics. On one hand, we want to obtain the strength. The strength is important characteristic of the yarn, and some different other characteristics are also there. Tensile strength, elongation, and then the count of the yarn, the imperfections in a staple yarn measured on the Worcester device, the hardness of the yarn, etc., and the when the yarn is wound in the later on stage we are going to see this thing in the flowcharts, we are going to see this one. But if the yarns are wound on the winding machines, then how many number of cyro cuts are there or objectionable fonts are there in these yarns. So these are some of the typical characteristics of them. Fiber strength or fiber length, broadly it is in case of a spun yarn. In case of filament yarn, there is no question of the fiber length. A man-made fiber, cut fiber used for the making of the staple yarn, in case of them, the fiber length plays very important role, and the dominance is there of the fiber length as far as the characteristic of the yarns are concerned. Now different technologies are used for yarn manufacturing, so length plays different role in different technologies. Of course we are going to see in some other units, so I will not go in details of that one. Yarn is a generic term again used for making of the strands. These strands form either from the natural material, staple fiber material, or from the filament cut staple material. So this is what just now we have seen, various sizes and structures, etc. Now we have, just now in the earlier classification we did see about this thing. The spun yarn or filament yarn is either a single yarn which is singly used. Then we have a two or more components of the yarns which are twisted together, two similar or dissimilar components. These are doubled yarns. Two or more components, the twisting directions are changed. They are called as folded or plied yarns. And more than that, when multiple single yarn twisted yarns are folded together or twisted together, they are called as cabled yarns. So single yarns, multiple yarns or doubled yarns, then folded yarns or plied yarns, and cabled yarns. These are the states of the staple yarns as far as their twisting together, whether they are twisted together or not. So this is one more sort of a classification of these yarns. Spun yarns are composed of short fibers or the fibers which are cut from the long staple materials. Now the spinning method used for manufacturing of the yarns that affects the properties of these materials, the yarns, that is, as far as uniformity and strength is concerned, the fineness, the smoothness of these yarns, etc. Some yarns which are in the cotton side, some yarns are carded and some very specialty or quality products are combed. So in combed yarns, as far as the cotton is concerned only, the difference is there as far as the properties are concerned. A similar process is used to manufacture a fine quality worsted or woolen yarns. Some similarities are there. They are not exactly the same. They are not identical. Majority of the filament yarns are extruded. Earlier we had seen about this one. So monofilament yarn is prepared. This is a thick material. Then multiple filament yarns are produced. through the spinnerets when bed spinning is done, and then these toes, whatever this comprises of number of monofilaments, 2000, 3000, etc., etc., this is called as a toe, and then that is further cut into the staple material. So this is what is the major difference. Now in case of the staple yarns, some of the things we have mentioned in the classification of them in the second classification slide of the staple yarns. Simple yarns, what is the meaning of this one? They are characterized by uniform size and regular surface. They can be broadly divided into single, ply, cord or rope yarns. Now single yarn is, just now we have seen, which is just having either from natural side or man-made side, the fibers are laid down and that is twisted together, that makes a single yarn. Then ply yarn, which is twisting together such a single yarns. Then cord yarns are produced by twisting two or more ply yarns, or rope yarns are produced by twisting two or more cord yarns, something like that. Now further, certain novelty yarns are required to be produced. Depending upon the market requirements, certain novelty yarns are required to be produced. Based on the purpose, each strand is referred to as base or core or binder, which this means that there is a sort of a splitting of this one. There is a core structure, there is a surface structure, and maybe there is a external binder that is used for manufacturing of these particular materials. So these are certain novelty materials. So this wide variety of novelty yarns, they are produced by using different techniques and types of the fibers and strands. The terminology as well as the classification of novelty yarn varies considerably because different requirements are there, different kinds of methodologies have been found. So some of them, say, we are going to see in case of this one, so that we will be able to understand a normal, say, single yarn is produced, or plied, cabled or rope yarn is produced from single yarn, or specialty, for specialty requirements certain yarns are produced, and for that some technological changes are required or different techniques are required or technologies are required. Slub yarns, they vary from single or ply yarns. They are characterized by soft bulky area. Then flock flake yarns have small tufts. Nub, knot or spot yarns, nub, knot and spot yarns are ply yarns in which effect yarn is twisted and around the base yarn to produce a thicker area. Now buckle or and loop yarns are ply yarns that are used, that they are using three sets of yarns: a base or core, effect yarn and tie yarn. So this is composition of three. Whereas in case of spiral or corkscrew yarns, ply yarns which are produced from plying soft and thick and other one the fine material. So this another difference is there. Then chenille yarns are pile yarns that are often made by slitting lino weave fabrics into narrow strips in the warp direction. So this is another thing which is used as far as manufacturing is. In the textured side, textured yarns are fully drawn filament yarns. Now this is the modification of the structure of the filaments. As some of the modifications just now we have seen in case of the natural staple spun material, the filaments are required to be also modified so that they can have certain change, the alteration in the characteristic and suitability for the final products can be there. So they have some modifications in them. They are stretch yarns and bulk yarns, etc., etc. So these are textured yarns. Similarly, we have certain further modifications and different things are practiced From the stretch yarns, we can have like elastomeric fibers from bicomponent materials, as we have earlier also seen, biconstituent fibers, chemically treated natural fibers, or bulk yarns in case of them, high bulk yarns or loop bulk or air jet yarns. So this is these are the modifications from the filament side. Now this is what is the first unit say tells us. Thank you.